Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, our course will begin within about 3 minutes. So when you attend to this channel, you can check about the signal. Is it clear? Is it fluent? And we will directly get started. Okay? Yeah, today's topic we're going to talk about customizing. Yeah, especially for customized kitchen, and also included the very hot topic is something related to the paving. Yeah, today I will have these two topics for you. So just wait for a few minutes. Okay. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to the course and welcome to the Coohom channel. This is Jackie. So today we're going to talk about this topic to customize the kitchen. And also, before the course begins, I would like to tell you that actually today the main content is not only focus on the customized tool, but also we will talk about something more regarding, for example, the finishings, especially the wall tiles and the pavings, to help you to get use and get this tool be used freely and also with more freedom to customize. And also, before we get to start with the tool, I would like you to know that actually we're now using the 5.0, the version. And when you click the create project, maybe you will find these different cases, different assets. So create new project is for the main customized case, but build the kitchen and closet is something very specific. Focus on the cabinet. It will have less functions such as the wall tile pavings. This is not there. So just pay attention about the sets. So once you click that, you can directly get to the use. This time we just directly create a blank project. And also when you having this kind of tool using, this one is the logic map that we provide you to guide yourself, to just let you know where you are and what to do next. So this is very, very important for the tool using. Yeah, overall, we just need to use this kind of function. Okay, either you import the file or you draw yourself. So today, just let us directly to focus on the drawing. So floor plan, we just need to use the draw yourself, draw a simple kitchen, and then turn to the decoration. In decoration, we will also first to ignore these other steps, other procedures, we directly turn to the kitchen and bath to get a mainly customized kitchen. Okay, and then we can turn to the render. Okay, of course, before you turn to the render, we need to finish all the decoration, including some very basic but essential, such as finishings, ceilings, and also the other topic included the wall tile pavings. So today I will talk about this, okay? And also it will have some connecting points between the kitchen and bath and the water paving. So floor plan, decoration, and render. But today we mainly focus on the customizing, okay? And later we will have this kind of customized tool logic. It's also another logic map that is also going to help for you. So here let's get started. Okay, clear them all. Now we use our main on drawing. For example, rectangle wall. Okay, click. And today you just need to roughly draw the number. Let's say 5.5 meter, and here is about 4 meters or 4.5 meters. Just try to leave a big area for yourself. Okay, because if you want to have a proper operation, you need to have at least not that much less areas to put the cabinet. And also here you can see we are not going to just have simplify a room. You'd better put some of the windows and doors. So today, linear window. Okay, let's say click one and then add some of the number. Let's say here, and width, don't forget. Okay, make a bigger one. All right. And thing is, that's another topic that's later you can change. And also don't forget here, my suggestion for door. For example, here we got this sliding doors. Yeah, and you can just roughly put it here. And today I'm going to do some of the very specific layouts. It's like the L shape. Okay, the L shape lies here, but here we can just directly create a tool a bar. Okay, and a stair bar, and also here we can even create some of the islands. Yeah, so today we'll have some of the different layouts for the customizing, but of course before that you'd better get it prepared for this kind of area. And also don't forget length and width. When you type any numbers, you can just change the status. And also here we got the room height here. When you click empty area, if it is really your demand, let's say it's not 2.8 meter as a default setting, you can change. For example, just type in numbers and then to change. Yeah, and of course later if you happen to remember that, you can also change afterwards. It's fine. Okay, and get everything prepared, we can turn to the customizing. So for customizing here, you can directly click, for example, the advanced tool. Okay, kitchen and bath. So today, kitchen here. Yeah, before we get started here, I have some suggestion. Okay, first is the basic layout. In generally speaking, in our design tool, yeah, we separate them into three parts. The very left area, this area are tools or options or the elements that you can select. Okay, this is the left. And middle, Canva, we do the changing, we do the modification and click and change. Okay, and then on the upper side here, this is the toolbar. In customizing, okay, in customized tool, we have tool, okay, tool layout. Okay, first line here, main toolbar. The second here, this one is for the sub toolbar, okay, and you have some more functions only available in kitchen and bath. In others, no, you can't see here, okay. And then on the right side, you can have this kind of 3D preview. And actually, we can do some of the operation not in here, but not only selection in here, but also we can select here 3D view. Okay, if you have multi-room, select room. And also, finally here, very important, when you do the customizing, this part is very helpful for you to choose or to select or to do the modification, not only in the basic parameters, but also for more status changing, advanced parameters, we can also change here. Okay, so overall, this is our main design page. And also, talking about some of the basic using, you can see here we have the public catalog, okay, and the manufacturer catalog and personal. Okay, so these are the three different catalogs. Okay, personal you can use, but that's for the lateral using, because this one it can help you to save some of the quick combinations. Later I will talk about this one. And public catalog, this is the main cabinet that we can use. And also it turn to different logic according to our different unit, different logic of the layers. And manufacture, that's from the third party. Okay, you have so many choices. Even you can search for some name of the brand, and then you can find a similar or related products or tools. So manufacturer, these two you can both use it. And today we suggest that we mainly stay with the public catalog, because this one everyone can use. And also here you can see the viewing different default settings, column view. Okay, but my personal preference, I would like to use the wide catalog. Yeah, it can provide me more detail about the selections. So you can change and set as the default by this symbol. And also, when we talked about the different layers like product catalog, parts, and even with the combinations, materials, what are the difference? Okay, what are the difference? Actually, here I provide you a logic map. The map will guide you to the correct dimension. So first, for the furniture or kitchen customized cabinet or even the bathroom customizing, in this we use this kind of a logic very wildly, and even for the customized like the doors and windows, it also shares the same logic. Yeah, the biggest logic is the combination. For example, sometimes the group unit, and even from the like the AI template or some other your main collections, yeah, we have the biggest. But this one you can almost ignore that. Yeah, it's not that very important thing. Later, when you use your personal choices, you can use this one. And the key thing it comes is the furniture. Yeah, also known as the product catalog. Yeah, the product catalog will always mark out in the frame in blue. So this is the main body. You can take it as the main body, and then just don't forget we have some closing plate, such as end panel, back panels, those other panels that feels like kind of independent panels, but actually, logically speaking, it's outside the frame, right? So it is still under the logic of cabinet. Yeah, later we'll talk about this one, and then we turn to the parts. The parts are those can form the furniture, like the plate inside the unit, form out the outside shape, okay, in the back, and even for the doors, drawers, hardwares. These are all parts, auxiliary, some of the auxiliary as well. So parts. So here you can see this one, okay, inside the furniture inside the product catalog. Yeah, but you need to switch from one level to another. So continually speaking, can we do some more editing? Actually, yes. we have the panel editor or plane editor. Sometimes we can even determine by ourselves for the different shape of the room, of the doors, of the panels, digging holes. Yeah, even changing the shape of that. You can also do this, but this is very specific for the part. Okay, so different layers. Okay, we can switching from the different layers by, for example, press table and then to switch the selection model. But also you can use your left mouse button by double clicking. You can change from, you can switch from one level to another. Yeah, and also we need to use those frames. Okay, need to use either these two frames to do the recognition and then even do the style replacement. And thanks to the frames, actually we can design the internal zone according to the position or procedure. Yeah, the frame is very essential. So this is the main logic. Okay, and after that you can have the generate the countertop, a foot line or something. So this is the main main construction or main logic in our customized tool. Okay, and then if you don't know how to understand this one, so actually we can try to connect this to our catalog. So first is the product part combination. See, combination is the biggest, but since this is for public catalog, so we won't bring too much on the combination because later you can form yours in the personal catalog. But material still there. It just refers to the product, the panels, and also the product here. You see, you have so many different cabinet. Okay, in public catalog, we just separate them by different install positions. For example, on the floor, base, on the wall, so wall cabinet, tall, semi-tall. Okay, these are easy to understand. And also, don't forget here, we do have kitchen appliance, but most of the time we don't directly to put. Yeah, because we directly can use some generate. Today I will also show you how to generate some of the appliance. And also here, bathroom, you can note that later, something in the bathroom, customizing. And here, very important for the auxiliary. Okay, this is the thing we call the closing plate included. Yeah, because you find that this kind of logic. Okay, and maybe when you put, for example, I just roughly put one of the any cabinet here. You see this one with the blue frame. It's easy to understand, right? This is easy to understand, but when we talked about auxiliary, sometimes don't get confused. Okay, these are the panels. These are some panels that you need to still put, okay, as one of the independent element. Yeah, it's actually from the logic speaking, they are same because this panel, this back panel, outside panel, air panel, or other infill panel, they are independent and need to put outside the other frame. So what we put here is the same logic as the cabinet. They are in the same level. Okay, just don't get confused. But what can we see in parts? You see, when we talk about parts, yeah, these are also panels, but the logic is the component that can form, okay, within the cabinet. So when you click and put, you see, I just randomly choose one. When you put, you can't put outside. These are the component within, okay, within the cabinet. So maybe when you use, sometimes you need to pay attention about the different logic. Where is it? Will it have the different components? Okay, just pay attention about that. When you put it outside, it's unable to. Okay, so just pay attention about that. Part, the difference between part and product. Okay, since we have the basic logic here, we can directly get started. By get starting this function, I suggest that we can get started with the furniture manually to put. For example, here, okay, first you of course you need to prepare for the basic room, and then you can just get started with the decor. So base cabinet, we do have, for example, common unit and no handle unit. Why we separate them to put that is because actually they are the different cabinet with different inner constructions. Yeah. So we have to put it separately. Otherwise, it will get confused. And also, if you mix to use that, well, the style will not always match. Yeah. And also, if you want to see about the manufacturer catalog, yeah, we do have some more options like a frameless, frame cabinet. They are all different in between the, for example, the shape or the constructions. So they are separately get it built and get it prepared for you to use. Okay, so just pay attention about that. Why we separate them? Because the inner are different. So let's get started. Most of the time, we suggest to get started in the corner. Okay, in the corner you can put the cabinet, and also just pay attention about the window because sometimes different regions has a different design requirements. Yeah, some of the regions really take a important use for the centralize the sink. So later I would put the sink here. So today, base cabinet use some very popular like no handle unit. Okay, and get started with a corner. So corner cabinet, we have this one, and sink later we'll put it here. So get start. You can have so many different choices like the pentagon or some fake doors. You see here. Okay. Now you can choose. Okay, some very simple. For example, the simple cabinet. Okay, right corner single door, and you find it actually left right. We don't do something flip. Flipping is just like normal models, like mirror left, mirror right, but actually, in customizing, since it contains a different construction or component inside, so you can't just simply get it flip. You'd better stay with left or right. Later, we will also talk about that. Even for like the end panels, we still have the different elements. Okay, so for example, click and then put. Okay, this is the fake door. This one you can really open that. So first you can get start at the corner. Okay, you can either put it here or use this one to put it there. But this part, that left, left side is the fake door. So we use the right side. Okay, so put it here, and then this area you can directly first to leave empty zone because later we will put some more cabinet to fill that. An adjustable cabinet is not fixed with the width. So after you putting one here, then you can check about this part. This is the area we can put a sink, for example, with the sink. Yeah, most of the time I suggest to directly use with the same style and also with the size that you preferred. Okay, and under this sync based logic, because if you don't stay with that and you sometimes want to generate the sync, you can do it, but sometimes the inner construction may not fully support that. So click, stay with the logic. Okay, click, and then put it here, and you can see we have the different angles. Once you move your mouse by dragging here, you can change the size. Okay, in the default system setting here, we just click off. For example, here size restriction, this one, yeah, it's off, which means you can and they're really free of the freedom of dragging any shape of the construction. You drag to different widths, depths, and height. But if you want to stay with that reasonable and also a proper customized size, you'd better click on with that. And then you can see now you have a limitation. Yeah, these are from the default setting. of our catalog. So you can just stay with that. If anything or any chance that you still really need to have a bigger size, yeah, you can just click off. Okay. And also you can see here we have the range like from 600 to 1100. This is the limitation. And also don't forget here we have the extend to right or to left. This is the dimension lock. For example, if I click here and I change to 1000, you see this only moves, okay, moves this way. It's not moving here anymore. So this is the dimension lock, the same as the depth and height. This is the basic parameter, okay, base parameter. Almost all of these components does contain the base, but you will have you can find quite a lot of difference underneath that, the advanced. Okay, this is the advanced parameters, and you can have so many different status to change, and almost all of these units they are different from each other. So you can check about the status and also keep a good habit that every time if you want to change anything, any status of the unit, try to once you put the cabinet, try to look forward here, okay, to check all the detail if you can change. So this is the advanced, okay, the advanced parameter. And also we can do the style changing, not only the body style, but material as well. And even for the component, for example, doors, knobs, or some other construction. But the style, I don't suggest you do now because style changing can can be placed at the final step before you go to render. Yeah, it will do a lot of help because we have the batch style changing. Yeah, later we'll talk about that. So once you put the model here, you can finally you can have a very easy way to get the auto snap feeling of auto attach, and in 2D it will be more distinct. You see, once you put the model, you will directly have the center line. Okay, directly have center line. Yeah, just key in 0, it means auto snap. Okay, key auto snap. But also you can have another option. This one is specifically for some very detailed, very precise and detailed operation. We have this kind of tool called precise layout. Here you can activate that by clicking this button, okay, from this one. But just pay attention, only in 2D. Okay, only in 2D. Here, precise layout, activate. And now you see you can put all these, okay, with the really precise position. Click to put. It can be also auto snap to center point, end point, or some other point. Yeah, two ways. And after you finish putting that, I suggest we just need to click off that. Yeah, because later when you want to do some more operations, it might not be a proper options for you because, well, there are too many auto snap point and it will interfere your normal operations. Okay, so after having this kind of function, okay, so just pay attention about that. You see, size, well, it's changing. The default setting may be a little bit different, but when you click to hold the model to move, it will get the auto snap result. Okay, and after that, you can take a 2D to view, a 2D, 3D. And then finally, you can choose, for example, one of the standard door. And also don't forget to take a look. Is it the left or right side, left handle or right side handle? Okay, for example, this one, we just need the left side. And here you can auto snap to merge. See, yeah, of course, if you want to change to some other, you can also do that. For example, left handle, changing, drag. Yeah. You see the default size it might not be different, it might not be the same, but once you put it there, it's almost auto snapped to the same. So this is thanks this function was thanks to the snapping and adaptation. Yeah, the default setting snapping is the lateral and adapt with limit. So when you put the model there, it's auto changed. Okay, then we can turn to function. So here, for example, trash, some others. Okay, and just pay attention about there's some difference. You see, here with the handle, with the even the status will not be the same because this one is door, but this one is the drawer front. Later, I will talk about this. When you want to do the changing or batch changing, you can directly find a difference. Okay, and then continue here. For example, this time, and I can also use still with the base and open cabinet. You have so many options you can directly put. Uh, just click and continue. For example, with functional, skid, yeah. And then ending up here. For example, you can directly use the open base, yeah, or open base cabinet. Later, we can do some of the operations. And of course, here later we can arrange a kind of uh, the countertop and then to just form out some of more of the function. It's fine, just leave it there. And if you want it to get directly stopped, for example, here, you'd better use the auxiliary. Here we do have for the amp panel, yeah, base water, but this time base. And also left and right. Yeah, talking about this left and right, maybe you don't know how to analyze that. It's easy. For example, for this cabinet, left is here. If you want to put any component left, then find the left and then click. Here, right side. So base cabinet and panel, click on the right side, right? And then here the boundary, it depends. Okay, so this time I don't use this one. I directly use the, for example, the open cabinet. And even for here, let me check. Yeah, we have so many options. You can just click and use, but I want this more open cabinet. Yeah, let's get something different. Later, I will tell you how to use this one. It's a really kind of fun to have some of different combinations. So here, continue. Since we finished this one, we can continue to put, for example, still no handle, functional. Yeah, we think with drawers, you can also continue to put. Okay, it depends on your design. And even here, let's take with the functional again, but this time here with the stove cabinet. Yeah, and both these two, okay, you if you're dissatisfied with the component, like you don't like the sink, you don't like the stove, you can certainly double click and then delete. Okay, just pay attention. The double clicking, we've talked about that. Okay, that's the chance that you can switch from furniture to parts. Since logically speaking, for this appliance, these are component or these are the parts. So you have to double click and then delete. This is the same. Later, we can also use the tool here to generate. But before that, the key step for us is to build up the very base, okay, the basic component. So just ignore those. Later, we will manually to do the generate and then to put. Sorry. So we can continue click. Okay, let's say functional, hold out right spin or some other component. Okay, and then for example here you can continue. Now this time we use the tall unit. Okay, still in here we have not a wall, it's the tall cabinet. You can click. You can have some of the well settled common unit. Also, we have the no handle unit, functional. You can find all those components. Just stay with the same. Okay, most of the time we suggest to stay with the same decor. Okay, the same design style. And also you can check what is the exactly when you need. You just need to click and put. At this moment, you can even double click. You see here, if it is duplicate, you can just change. For example, if the function is duplicate, you can just change to some others. So steam oven, disinfection, and here, this is the microwave, okay, fully function. So you can keep it. Yeah. And also when you click that, auto snapped, it can change automatically. But this time, just putting here may not be so correct because this sideboard here still we need an end panel. Otherwise, showing the boundary, the gap, well, will not be so suitable. So this time, keep a distance. Still turn to auxiliary, tall end panel. So left, right. This one, right side. Okay. And of course, first change the positions and then change. Okay. Just click to put. Yeah. And then you can hold it down shift button. Okay. And you do the multi selection. Now put it into the proper position. Right. Of course, sometimes you might feel like, okay, this one, if I don't want the appliance cabinet appliance unit, I want to use like range. You can also directly search in the public catalog. Yes, we do have something like this. Yeah, just pay attention about that. If you click and put, okay, click and put, maybe you need to cover with the end panel with other base unit, left or right. Yeah. Just don't ask me to put that because it's incorrect most of the time. Okay. So after that, we can have a proper well prepared layout. Just keep it, just pay attention. This is one simple layout. And maybe sometimes if you want to put others, for example, it's not the functional cabinet, it's for the fridge. At this moment, you'd better use still left whole panel, but the center one you can change, for example, to the fridge. Okay, and then to put manually to put. This time, let me just duplicate. Duplicate is easy to understand. Still the same. You can put it here, the fridge, and then the right side, I can just duplicate that. Okay, two options. Here, I just show you some of the basic operation. So when you put like this, okay, first of all, definitely you can't directly give such a narrow gap because for the fridge, the heating, okay, the heating temperature will definitely cause damage for the appliance. So what you need to do here first is to leave a gap. For example, leaving a gap, you don't have to just to change or to put precisely because just make it out a step and then key in number. For example, minus 40. See, now we already have the result. Yeah, our system can provide this distinct calculation. Yeah, you just need to key in the number. For example, different number. See, and you can also continually to key in different numbers. And also here, if you put it, for example, these two parts, if it is not in the same position and not with the same similar size, well, you can also use this function. It's really helpful. First, to click the correct one. Later, we can put some wall unit on the top. Okay, holding down shift button, first you click this one and then click this. Okay, the second one. Now we have the function called adaptation and align. Adaptation, adapt to the height. Okay, you see now we can change and align to the top. See, now directly we have the result, right? But of course, it depends on your demand. You can drag directly or type in number or whatever. But still, we have this very basic but essential operation. Yeah. And then how about this area? Okay, we can also search for the wall cabinet and fridge. Yeah. For the wall cabinet, we can have some here, for example, with doors. Okay, above fridge here, hang door above fridge. Yeah, you can put, and also you will find easily to find out. Wow, it's really hard to arrange the position, right? The same logic. First, don't get panic. Second, put it on the other side. Now, another very helpful function occurs here. Put your mouse to the little arrow. Yeah, you can have the orient. Quick button P. Okay, it means to put this unit onto or into that position where you want to the next cabinet unit. So for example, click. Now I put to here and then change. For example, changing the position or easily use the function. Remember, click and click. We have the align to the top. Okay, and you see why it's not changing is because first we select the unit here, and then second we select this one, which means, well, it will change. Okay, the result is that it will change the position of this cabinet, which is incorrect. Actually, what we want first, you need to click the one that you don't want to change. The second is the operation, the ideal operation, and then click align to top. See, and finally changing the size, changing the size. Okay, yeah, of course this one not that big. You can just change. Yeah. So you see, we have these different operation. The depths as well, same depths as well. For example, drag, drag. These are all auto snap. See, and then you can also put it there. It depends on your demand, okay? But this time, additionally speaking, I would like to suggest that this kind of combination, if it is really your frequent options or the with the higher opportunity for the deckers, you'd better holding down shift button, drag and group. Yeah, once you group that, see, we can click this one, add to favorite. And even here, you can create a folder. Let's say quick folder. Yeah. And then next time, for example, I just want to put some more component. I can turn to personal catalog, quick folder, combination, click and use. Much easier. Okay. So this would do help for your efficiency. Yeah. So after, okay, after you have different operations, now we can directly use this function here, the generate. Of course, just now we talked about that. We dislike the sink. So use the sink, click sink style, and then here, for example, probably you can also use the manufacturers. Yeah. And then select the proper one. Just don't select those in the bathroom. Okay. So click and then generate. Yeah, you see the default settings. Just pay attention about the size. Yeah, before you use the sink, yeah, you can check about the size. Sometimes if the cabinet is small, then you'd better change here. Sometimes if it is not customized, then you have to check about the number here. If it is it's showing in minus, which means it's the size, the outer size of the cabinet is not enough. Okay, so you can click and generate. Yeah, just check because different sync, different component definitely will be various. So check about the status. Sometimes it's oversized. Sometimes, well, you can definitely use. Just pay attention about these two. Yeah, first is the size of the cabinet, and the second here, the result here, the spacing model result, if it is showing in minus. If minus, well, not big enough. Okay, and also don't forget this one. Let's say we need to put, we still need to generate the stove. Click stove style. Okay, public. Yeah, you can check also the same logic. First, you can check about the size, and here, okay, width is not that big, so good enough. Chimney hood, if you want, you can click and then to have. Yeah, you can also have some more. It's not only with the default setting. These are some more available in the manufacturer. Probably also the same. You can just click and then keep the changing or change the distance. Okay, and top mount. Okay, and then click and just now see minus, which means the size is this one is oversized. So you can check and change. For example, let me just change to this one. Is it big or even bigger? Okay, so let me just change to the this one. For example, yeah, suitable. Just click, and now you can have the result directly. See. Yeah, but just pay attention here. Sometimes for the result, for the countertop result, this one may not be suitable. The height above. Yeah. You can also change the installation type. For example, tie in, submit back. Yeah. And then when you do the generating of the countertop, you will see the result. I think this one it will still flow on the top. So let me just change to some other. This one is certainly oversized. Uh, this one, 890. This one too big. This one is smaller. Okay. Yes. And then click finish. All right. And after that, we can turn to generate the countertop itself. Yes. Yeah. Basically speaking, the system will auto snap to have the all these options. Okay, all these unit, base unit. And then front edge, select. Still the same logic. For example, click backsplash. It depends on your demand. Yeah, later we will have something related to this backsplash. Both way you can use. Either you use the Peninsula back panel to manually to fill, or use the, for example, the wall editor to build. Yeah, if you click here, the default setting, well, it's just one linear backsplash with the same height. I know it is a very nowadays really kind of demand for you to generate different height of the backsplash or the back cover. So this time I show you both. Okay, I show you how to do to handle with the demand. material depends on your demand. You can just choose or search, directly search for stone, artificial stones, or whatever stones. Just click. And here, the same with the default setting, all this settled. Yeah, click generate. Okay, first let's check about the status. You see, this fully cover the backsplash, and but you can change. For example, if you want to have some more options, well, you can't. This is only with the same height. Now we have the system only support the same height, and also check about the height. Some of the stove or the sink maybe float in the air, then you need to change the style because that's not suitable for that. And even for this irregular shape, don't worry, we can do some changing. So after you have the result, click. Now manually do that. Yeah, in 2D you can take an easier view. See, for example, you can now click to set the is it the backsplash or no edge. If no edge, it's just no any decors here. And also you see we do have some lines. If you want, you can drag, you can change. Yeah, you can drag to change the size into the proper position, or even yeah, make it simple. For example, see here, delete. Okay, first, now it's dragging. Now we're doing dragging, and you can also do the auto snap and click. See here, we can have the different shape. For example, fillet, right? And then type in number, yeah, to change. But this time, I want some more creations. For example, I can even drag with a bigger area, and now click to add a breakpoint. Okay. Click the line, add a breakpoint, and even to change the shape. See, still with the default setting, but I can change to the island. For example, dragging at this moment, remember the fillet? Yes. Now 150. This one 150. Okay. This sometimes like the toolbar. Okay, and then to change and click generate. Yeah, of course I can make it even smooth. For example, continually, just click and then click for fillet, not that big, 200. Let's say here the same, fillet, 200. And also, if you want, you can click continually. You can just do some of the for example, the waterfall, but this time, since we want to fully use this area, so just leave it. And also, when you click here, you can to try to, for example, to draw. Okay, click finish. Yeah, you can also continue to draw the result, to change the default settings. Yeah, and also to check about the status, everything. Here you can do it. Finally, if you want the support leg, here, click finish. You can turn to here searching for leg. Turn back to the public catalog. Searching for leg. We have the support legs. Okay, just to click and then put into the proper position and drag. Just pay attention. These are also some these are also the parameterized model. These are parameterized. So you can click and put. And also, if you want, make it longer. Typing number is also available. Saying uh, need here. I think we need to drag a little bit. Yes, and then click 1650. Yeah, and then click finish. Check in 2D. Click to put. Yeah, first you can put in 2D. Also use the dimension button to change, and then second, drag. Yeah, drag until you can let this surface get it touched. Okay, now it's finished for the specific decor of countertop. And of course, sometimes the drawings in here might not be so suitable. You can continue. Yeah, take a look in 2D. If you want, you can also even manually to draw, manually to dig the holes to set. See, oh, not this one. Yeah, for example, to manual edit, to changing the size. Yeah, or more other options to change to some other standard shape. And I think this one is incorrect. This one. Uh, yeah, this boundary incorrect. So should be no edge and auto snapped. Yes, just limit those incorrect size, incorrect point. Okay, finish. And anytime you change the status here, it also can change accordingly. See, when you do the changing, actually the whole cabinet, the countertop of the can also change according to your selection. Okay, yeah, that's the thing when we talked about the height. Here is too high, and then also the default setting is incorrect due to the preset of the model. So when you happen to see this, try to avoid using it. Okay, this is incorrect. Sometimes it needs some of the modification or the specific changes. What we need is something like this. Okay, and also finally turn back. Still, we need some of the supporting from the button. So here, okay, modding, yeah, and then still choose, for example, to have the very standard 100 height. Yeah. Yeah, when you choose the different number, still you can change the height afterwards. So don't worry. So material, for example, search for the service, click generate. You see, actually now it's fluent even for the chamfer. And actually, you have the same logic. Click and do the menu edit and to draw. Yeah, you can change according to your preference. Okay. And then, for example, for the linear here, the same logic. Okay, wall cabinet, and for example, with the doors, okay, with the double doors. And also here, don't forget, we do have auxiliary for wall filler, and left or right. Don't forget this one. Okay, you can click first to put, and then second, click to do zero, get it out of snap, turn it back, the wall cabinet, for example, with some more decors. This one I don't need a big one, so make it smaller with doors, simple bar with doors. Yeah, okay. And then you can drag, you can put, and also don't forget, for example, if you want to have really precise position, let's say with this one, mark out the proper positions to have the standard the lines. You can holding down shift button, first click this one and the second click one. The same airline. If center is like this, if airline to left, it's like this one. Well, it depends. Of course, when you do this one, you have to change the hood. Yeah. Just pay attention about this adaptation and airline. In adaptation, if you click, well, you will have smaller options and then centralize. Okay. But this time, this in this case, we don't have to stay firmly with that. Just change accordingly. Yeah. Choose your preference and then to put is enough. Let's say here 1000, and then finally here, don't forget, we can have the auxiliary with M panel. Sorry, tall, no, wall M panel, left side, okay. The same here, if you want, you can put. Yeah. And finally, the height, holding down shift button, group them. Yeah. And then secondly, click here and then click this one, align to the top, smooth. Okay. You want to put some more layers, the same, use our orient, the function called orient, for example, to choose. Let's say we have a flip here first to put, and then secondly, orient to put it on top of this one. It means click, orient to put, click here, and to put on the top. This is how it works. Yeah. Of course, if you want a bigger size, currently you can unlock and change. Now you can change freely, ungroup, and then do some more modification. Okay, so it depends. Today I just use this single row of the decor. And also here, don't forget, still another generating for the crown molding. See? The same logic, even the same logic, very same logic. Click and choose material. Well, you can just roughly select one and then let's use the material editing. Let's use the material brush to replace them. Yeah. Generate, finish. If you want, menu edit. For example, add up 20 more, 350. Yeah. generate. So you see, you can see now the difference. Here, just auto snap to the frame, but without the depth of the door panel. But this one fully covered. Yeah, I leave this two, okay, to let you know how it's different. And then finally, material brush, pave, pave. See how it goes. Okay, so this will be some of the solution. And double click, check all the status. Double click. And let's say if you want to put the the panel even with the light strip. Now you turn to the panel here, and you can have the base panel, fixed panel, shelf, fixed shelf. You see, now you can manually to put it in. Yeah. Even for the panel, you can search for light strip. Let's see in the menu if we have that light strip. Oh no, not this. All panel, door panel, special panel, base panel, light strip. This one. Yeah. See, you can even put the groove light strip shelf. Yeah. And indeed, it does contain the light. Okay, you can also, let me just switch on. You can also see we can change center, front, or back, and also typing number on the back. But here, let's give a distance, let's say 50, yeah, in the proper position. Okay. Finally, don't forget material brush to pave. And also the same for the here, this one, double click, okay, continually double clicking until you can select the bottom panel, bottom shelf. And style changing in manufacturer, in public maybe not, but in manufacturer catalog, you can try some of the light strip, yeah, to see if you have, okay, and P, so light strip, yeah. There will be some of the options for the manufacturer, and they can light up the same logic. Okay, light, it's not light strip. It's light. Public, light strip. No, no, maybe the logic. The catalog here is changed. Okay. Otherwise, also put some of the lights underneath that. Let me search here. Lights. Here, model. Light strip. Yes, this can also be put. Okay. These are also available with a different depth, thickness, changing dimensions, and put it here. And also click, check the parameter distance from floor, and now you can have the proper distance from floor here. 1.6 meter. 1.5 meter. Okay, but once you use this one, you see 1.6 is just right underneath that, which may not be suitable. So -5. Now you can see, and now scale. Yeah, see, switch to 3D or press R. Now you can put into the proper position. Holding down Control button, we can force it to move. Okay. Okay, now actually most of the detail is done, and some more. Let's check about the status. Just now, remember this one? See, not so suitable for the size. So once you double click, you have this full offset. So this one, the height, you can add more for the top overlay. It controls different dimension. Let's change to 25. Now you can have a proper result. And also if you don't want this one, the handle, use the style. Just click, okay, delete. Now everything fine, everything looks the same. And then you can also check about the status. For example, open, close. Yeah. And after everything finished, you can put the decoration. So for the decoration, I would like to say, if you want, you can also use the normal 3D model. In here, decoration, we do support you to put so different elements. See, rack with the cans. So click and put. Yeah. When you click, just pay attention here when you do the clicking. Okay. Well, the button will change to blue button surface, which means the system can successfully recognize out and then help you to put into the proper position. Yeah. And then you can also place the different elements onto that, change the dimensions. Yeah, it really depends on your operation. So just try to put the element, and also, for example, to have the inner the same. Hence, let's say if you put, see, the system is not only recognize our one surface but more. You see, yeah, just don't get too fast. Try to put manually. Okay. And of course, if you don't want to put that much, we have the AI template called the custom smart decor, and then choose the proper options, proper selection, and then all the decoration, okay, can get replaced and get it get the proper settled. See, you want, you can drag to change. Okay, so different options for you to choose. Okay, open direction, change to the left. This one, how about this one? Okay, correct, correct, also settle. Yeah. And how about the island? Sometimes if you have the island, well, you can use, still use the base cabinet. Okay, this time let's use the drawer. Okay, using the drawer. Okay, so maybe First, from the very beginning, let's say here, one drawer, but this time I want a back to back. So when you use this function, the duplicate function, you will find that it's really hard to put at the back. This is because your snapping model still remains with the lateral. Now you have to change to bump. And then you can now get it well controlled. Okay? Just simply to rotate. And we can have this kind of back to back. Okay? Back to back unit. And that's not the end. For example, still we need to have the auxiliary, the end panel, base end panel. Okay, for example, facing to us, this one facing to us. This is the right side. So click and put. Yeah, this time of course you can still turn it back to lateral. Right side, left side. And then click scale. The same, dragging to get it covered. Okay, but you will find a little bit different here. See, this one fully covered, this one no. So in order to make it proper, you can add up, still try to click to select the proper options. See, this one no, changing wrong. So extend backward. Now put your mouse here. You have the big green arrow. So add up 20. Now proper. The same here. Add up 20. Make it properly. Okay. And then still Countertop. This time click empty area. Click on your left mouse button. Holding down shift button, multi-select. And then first check about the basic status to see if it is proper. Yeah, of course you see here we get some cutting edges. Incorrect, click the pencil. And in 2D, yeah, to drag, you can either choose one side to drag to see if it is auto snap. Okay, choose one side. Sometimes one side is incorrect or unable to do that, change another. See, dragging, correct, auto snap to one. Yeah. And then, for example, add up more. Let's say add a 20. So, or add 30. Let's say here, 170 and more. This time, add 30, 1.2 meter. Same here, click. Add 30 is 866. Here, 8996. And now the dot, fill it, 20, 30, click. Yeah, make it soft. Okay, generate. And now front edge, still select. Stay with the same backsplash, certainly not. Material, well, it depends. Or you can also to just select one and then do the paving later. And also here the same. If you dislike that, change again. Generate. Okay. We support multiple times for the generate, regenerate, and a different result. Okay. And also don't forget here to generate the token modding. Same, 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding down Shift button to select and generate. And also, same logic, if it is incorrect, click, yeah, delete available, delete, drag, drag as well. Okay, this one actually delete, generate, same, generate, finish. This one can directly get touching to the floor, and this one material brush, same here. Position should get smaller, to avoid. Let's get a check. Yes, 4 different endpoint need a little bit adaptation. Generate. This one the same. This oversize. So 2D. Check the detail. Generate. Yes. Okay. Click finish. And actually, we still have one big challenge actually for the backsplash. Okay, let's say here, if I want a backsplash here, this one, a simplest way to use is to turn to auxiliary, and we do have the panel. Okay, for example, back panel and the Zula. Okay, this one is thinner, you see, only with the depth, okay, is 16, and this one is thicker, 20. So once you click, okay, still click to put in the same side of the wall and orient top of this one, this cabinet, and then manually to drag, to satisfy your demand, whether it's bigger or smaller, or you manually change the number. And finally, material brush to pave, right? And also even for this different height, for example, the peninsula panel, orient, okay, click the countertop, it's still the same. And then you get this auto snap. Put 1 phrase, 2 phrases, 3 phrases, just to put, okay, and then to change. Another option here, this one I use the peninsula, but this one I will turn to the wall editor for change. So here, if you have any decor design, for example, I want to cover this area with the paving, just fit it as the backsplash. So I can click the wall on the wall editor. Okay, and at this moment, maybe you can't see the detail, but if you activate the model To see the wall model here, you see, once you activate this one, you can see all the boundaries. Now let's turn to drawing. And even you see our drawing point, auto snap point, now currently is available for the snapping on the wall. Okay, now you can draw first. You need to draw out the area for the paving. And then the second click, we have the add paving. So now we turn to another topic. It's something related to finishings. Most of the time when we talk about finishings, we have mainly two options. Either you use the pattern or picture, or you know as the pattern or picture, to fulfill, or we use the add paving. Yeah, in add paving, it means you can manually to control all the status and the procedures, the status and the positions of each tile. So at the paving, when you assess here, you see only this area, the pointed area that you need to pave. Of course, you can give a very simplified paving methods by using the preset. But also, when you click, see, you can change here, change the different gap color, changing the different status, different pavings, different elements. Yeah, even to control the size, for example, here 400, this one, this even smaller 100. Yeah, and it will remain with the default settings of the paving. See, this is the way to do the controlling. Yeah, but let me just clear here. But if you want to pave manually, let's say here, this time I want to create my own, okay, own size or the own status. You can have the free paving. See, when you click the free paving, you have the independent tile, okay? Each piece of the tiles now exists independently. Free paving, okay? For example, click. And this time you can directly pave by your own preference. For example, let me just choose some of the free paving. Is the shape? I want it smaller. Okay, let's say here and gap. Simplify, make it one. And you see, duplicate, duplicate. See, we can manually to create them. Yeah, you want to make it faster, holding down shift button, duplicate, right? And then put. Yeah. Of course, I don't want to pave all along that. With that, I can just click tile paving and then pave all, right? But this time, I want some of the duplicate. For example, just this area. For the rest of the part, let's say tile paving. Okay. Now you can see that combination changing. For example, I don't even need a big shape. 200, 600. Okay, and even changing for the status. This one, oh, no, changing the status. Let me just clear them all. First, give a very base one, and then change the type, click to put. See, these are the different combination. You can also do this combination with your preference. It's fully covered. Yeah, this. Okay, and then duplicate. Still, They are within the different levels. Yeah, they pay with the different level. And even you can do some of the free paving by just see some of the changings. Okay, and also we still support this smart start point auto snap manually changing for the status, for the positions, for the starting point. See, okay, and then click exit. Now you see we have this kind of deckers, right? Continually, you can also even do this different areas. So this is what we call the paving method. And of course, I know you will have the question that can we manually to determine those components or even upload? But nowadays, you see, when you use this account, this for personal using account, you can only use from the public library. In yours, you can't do it. We actually have this kind of access, but mainly for the enterprise users. They can upload as paving uh, element, paving component, and then use their own product. So just pay attention about the difference. Now you can only use for the pavings, you can only use from the public library. But still in public library, we have these options to change, to cut, even though you see the slottings, and then to do that. But more functions, we now have them inside our enterprise account version. Okay, so after we prepare this and we finish preparing this one, just don't forget this one. Okay, we do have for the batch changing before you turn to render. Just now we talking about that. Before you turn to the render, we do have the function called the global style. And in here, you can change not only for all of this model, but also according to different deckers. For example, now I only change for base unit, and I want them to change it with the certain body style, changing the different colors, different status, and doors as well. Maybe when you click changing the body style, may not be so certain to get seen immediately because these are hidden away. And for doors, you can see, for example, public, let's say, changing to the different series. But of course, you might find it some uh, difference between the door panels. Some changed, but some not, right? Some are changed, some still remain in the same. So what happened to this? What happened? Why is this one? Actually, because you see, these are doors, but some more are drawers. Okay, they are not doors, they are from the drawer. So if you want to change, still within the door style, but this time you need to use the drawer front. Okay, so that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. And let me just simplify the atlas. The same here for doors, atlas, this one. Okay, and of course, for some of the style here is incorrect because it's all recognized now as the base unit. So no worry, using the style brush. Before that we use is the material, but this time style. Let's just put it onto the uh, position to change. For example, here to the default door panel or the flat, any flat style. Yeah, changing. Or simple way to do that is using some already exist, like the base cabinet. Okay, just to put, let's put anything, for example, here. Yes, here switching to part, style, click, okay, click to put. Same here, click, click, put them back. And then material brush, pave, pave. So this is how we work. And for others, of course, if you want, you can use material brush as well. Sometimes it may be easier. See, just pave. Just click and pave. Okay. Now actually we finished some of the decors. Even more. Okay. And before we turn to the last step, the render, just try to remember we still need the base decor of the ceiling. So still turn it back. You want to save time? You can turn to the model. In model, yes, you can use the construction ceilings. Yeah, for example, suspended ceilings. And then in 2D, just try to use some of the decors, or you can also search for kitchen ceiling. Yeah. And then click to do auto snap. For example, click. Now it's auto snapped to the top. Now you can even drag, yeah, to set to the proper positions, proper elements. Okay. Finally, let's just load model furniture or seats. It's a single sofa, no boost. Or chair. Yeah, should be this one. Or stool. Yes. For example, to put this one better. Okay. Also, you can change the size, scale. And also don't forget, here you can put, for example, the lighting. Puts on the lights. Yeah. Okay. On the curve, rings. Up. Put it onto that. Use the mouse wheel to check. Okay. Here you can also put a door, a single door, right on it. And then finally turn to the render. Okay. And if you want, just to click accordingly with a big angle, with the ambient lights, with the preset, and then generate. Yeah. Also, we do have the real-time rendering. If you want, you can manually to control the lights and then have the proper result. So this will be some of the operation methods. You can also click to correct. For example, if you want to have a um, higher view, but still you want to stay with the very straight lines, you can activate the correction, the camera correction. Of course, different variations would to help correction. And also don't forget here clipping. Sometimes clipping is helpful. Okay, so generate. And you can have the proper result. If you feel like it's too bright, you can also check here brightness setting. Yeah, let's limit the light and regenerate. Now it will be uh, with the lower exposure, okay, for the light. Okay. So overall, that's for today's content. Okay. Uh, how can I replace such as hang the sliding rails and cabinet lift system available on the market later blown are? The second question is, can we create the pocket doors in kitchen? Well, it depends on your, for example, you still need to have some construction creating. That's for also from the enterprise account version. Yeah, pocket doors in kitchen. If you want that, maybe you need to create that. Yeah, create some more. Let me just searching for that. Okay, those the ones using. Or I don't think we had that. Some okay those. Yeah, you need to create it. Sometimes you need to create it. How to set the brightness according to wattage of lamp? Uh, a good question. Set the brightness according to the wattage. And actually, if you want to change the brightness of the lamp, right? Actually, if you want that, you can use the real-time rendering to change. Let me just show you. Here is sliding wheels and copy the latest system. Okay. For example, in the render, first let me just show with the lights. First, I need to put the light. Uh, Model, lighting. Then we have the panel with the light. For example, here, yeah, just gives or some more distinctive result. Uh, let's say this one, shall we? Okay. So when we turn to the render, in here, real time, you can click at the real time. This is real time rendering. And then when you click the light strip, wait a minute, okay. So you can see when you click the material, you have this luminous energy. The default setting maybe is not so clear for the lights. Now you can add more. Maximum 20 and make it wider. It will feel like brighter. See, this is a kind of a way. Yeah. And then even this moment, you can also put, for example, with the light, okay, with the omni light, let's say, here at the bottom of that, give a 50 brightness. Yeah. See, how's that feeling? 80 with the radio. You will have a stronger feeling of light explosion in this area. 150, even brighter. See? Yeah, changing the luminous material itself or manually add up. Yeah, for this one, it's already bright enough. Yeah, you can manually also put the downlight. Going down, under it. See, still we have the light. Okay, we have our display. Can we get a part list from design? I already searched in the kitchen, but there's no pocket doors. Advanced tool, kitchen. Still not there. Uh, List. Okay. For the listing, I think what you talked about is still the bill of material. That function still go with the enterprise account version. So in here, you can't directly have that. Yeah. In, yeah, in enterprise account, you can have the function, the bill of material to have all to output all of this, the listed. Yeah. Okay. So any other question? Sometimes if you want to change, you first need to double click and then check the style. Yeah, and then to find if you have that. But if you don't have that, sorry, maybe that's not supported for from the system or the account version because some may be available for only for the enterprise user. Yeah. Okay. So finally, let's get some of the conclusion since we already finished till the render, even the customize. Okay. So here, still the logic combination, furniture, parts, and the play editor. Yeah, even for the play editor, sometimes you may not frequently use, but I can just let you know here. You have the double clicking and the wait. See, you can dig the hole. Yeah, you can dig the hole in case that you need, and then click even here to linear array complete. Okay, you can do some of the changing. Still the same, changing the status, positions, linear, changing, okay, complete. And then you can have some of the result. This is the whole digging. Okay, the last. Seldom we use this one. We most of the time use like furniture parts. Okay, and the conclusion. First, check the advanced parameter. Every time you want to change some of the status of the cabinet, check advanced parameter. Second, double clicking on left mouse button. Yeah. Or you can use the table to switch to see if you can change, just how you asked about changing the part, changing the component, changing the slide, or some other. Yeah. And even if you want, try to search in the manufacturer catalog to see if you have some proper component or the part to replace. Yeah. Talking about that, yes, style replacement, always like that. First, we need to handle about the layout. And after you finish the layout arrangement, then you can turn to the style replacement, either in single or multiple choice. Yeah. Okay. So I think today we can end it up here. And well, if you have some more, you can just keep contact with us and then just accumulate some more questions, and next time maybe we can also choose some of your demanding case or the challenge questions to arrange for more courses or the content. Okay, so I think that's all for today, and thanks for watching. Well, see you next round. Bye bye.